Alright everybody, this is 8th Night coming back at you with a 3.0 update on specking and gear for Abolisher. I've had quite a few people whisper me in game and ask for an update video because of the massive changes to defense and battle rage. So let's go and go through the gear real quick. I went ahead and kept the same helm, same Annihilator's helm as last time. Chest, I switched to Annihilator's Curious as opposed to Conviction because of the nerf to the battle rage reset. I'd rather have more melee attack in this build than that extra parry. Mitigation's just fine if you already have Conviction, stay with it, but I chose to Annihilate as Curious because we need to get back the damage we lost in this patch. Belt, the best in slot, is definitely still the Honor Belt. I still don't have one. Make sure you get that thing, Luna Gem it with 9 strength, throwing the healing gems in there of course. And moving on to the wrists here, the best thing you can get there is of course the, once again the Honor item, the Honor Plate. Make sure you gem magic defense and you get the strength enchant on it. Gloves, same as last time, still the Annihilators. Oh, there's a pop-up. You're going to want the melee parry as much as you can afford at the 3% and the rest of the Luna scales from your guild. Melee critical damage, 24% increase. Pretty plain and simple there. The cloak is still best with the Delphi or Aeonad Twin Tail Cloak because it gives that magic defense 1.2 thousand. And make sure you go and put the strength combo Luna Gem on there. Moving on to the pants, toughness enchant, toughness gems of course. Go ahead and go with the divine annihilators, that strength is nice, and the magic defense to cover your soft spot. Boots, I went with physical defense because I believe the strength is great, and also just because we already have enough magical defense and there isn't that much magic defense penetration in the game, I'd rather have the bonus physical defense. So movement speed, the best you can afford. Luna scale the rest, toughness enchant. Best necklace is definitely still the best you can get of the Evernight necklace. Whatever you can get with RNG, get the highest ranking you can get. Earrings are still the divine, or sorry, any Gale earrings you can afford. If you have the money for the enchant, get the melee attack increase. These are just for the parry rate. Yes, parry was nerfed, but it's still worth stacking as opposed to flame earrings that just give attack speed. It's not worth it. Definitely stay with Gale Steel on earrings. Rings, still Gale there. Melee attack if you can afford it, just for that defense penetration. Pretty straightforward. Second ring, you're definitely just gonna want to go ahead and run whatever version of the dream we can get. I just got a Kraken kill and a few other kills. I'll get to Unique here and then hopefully Celestial with the next couple weeks. But definitely the Dream Ring for that skill damage. Weapon, I still say the short spear, especially with that nerf I warned everyone about the parry reset. That nerf hits swords hard, so make sure you have a short spear. Gem it with focus, do the 2% melee skill damage increase. Everything else pretty much the same here. Shield, you're going to go with the version 2 Obsidian Mystic Ward, or upgradable all the way up to Void Spell. Of course, put the most shield block you can in, gem the rest with Luna Scales, and then throw the enchant for the shield block rate. The only reason, of course, is the magic defense covering your soft spot here. Now, bow, this one did change from my previous build. I went and changed to a Delphinat Flame Bow because I had the funds for it. It's definitely best in slot. I suppose you could argue Aeonad, but let's be honest, Delphi is fine by anyone here. The range skill damage, it just came with the bow. You can pretty much put anything on that, it doesn't really matter. As for gems, you can see I socketed a melee attack 6.0 increase, and then Luna scaled the defense penetration. I believe that's definitely the best way to go. Throw a blue gem and Luna scale the rest. That way you're not having a money pit there. Still pretty usable. Next is a Singing Scroll, or just the upgradable loot. That will give you pure magic defense. That's the only reason it's there. The rest is just a stat stick, okay? Pretty simple. Now, as for the costumes, they did add these in-game in the last patch here. And they did actually give some pretty good stats. Now, as you're leveling it up from your welcome back package, or just generally, keep in mind that what you've gotten every day for logging in during these months from the login tracker, these login badges can be used to buy a reroll on your costume here. So, for example, for one login badge, I could try and reroll my defense penetration 525 for a random other stat. Of course, I believe I have the best stats on my costume, so it's good to go. It's not going anywhere. Now, a common misconception with these costumes is that they expire after those 12 days, 22 hours, and 37 minutes on my costume. What you actually need to do is go to the marketplace or general vendor. I believe it is somewhere in here. Must not be. Cynthia Soap. You can buy these for 120 gold. General Merchant, 300 credits here, or on the auction house for about 100 gold. So I usually do the auction house there, and that will reset its duration. Even if your costume expires, you just have to pick some soap and wash your clothing, and then it comes back on with all its skills. So do at least take it to Divine. You get the 4th stat on Divine. You don't get anything for Epic, just more increases. You get the final stat increase, your 5th stat, at Legendary. So that's definitely important there. By the way, I have hit 6k gear score, and these are my current stats without any buffs on, aside from, of course, refreshment. These are so as you can see, my physical defense is exceedingly high, due in part to this costume, but we're looking at 58%. Now that doesn't seem like a big deal. However, that's 75,000. Most people on base have 2,000 physical defense penetration. That means I'm going to retain at least 49% damage decrease to most melee. That's huge for staying alive. My magic defense, realistically, is probably going to be about 30-32% versus most gear mages there. Alright, let's go and bring up the spec, because the spec has changed pretty drastically from the last time I shared it. So we're going to keep Shield Slam, of course all the basics, Refreshment, Bull Rush, Boastful Roar for the slow. A lot of people aren't taking this anymore. I always recommend it just because of this little bit right here. It causes distress. Now what that does is it decreases their healing received. That's very important for bursting down a healer. Toughen. Now Toughen has changed since 2.5. It no longer is a 30-minute stack that goes on top of Refreshment. When you click it, you get 19 seconds, or 20 seconds total, of continuous health regeneration. Now it used to be whenever you took damage, 1 damage gave you 1 medal. That's no longer the case. The only way to get that back is to pop Toughen. So for 20 seconds, 20 out of 60 seconds on average, you are going to have the old rate of getting medal. It's very important to pop Toughen when you're being focused to build your medal so you can burn it. So definitely catch Refreshment, and definitely Toughen. Toughen only when you're being focused. It'll give you that continuous health regen in combat, which is pretty damn good. And more importantly, it'll let your medal stack how it used to, because metal is a lot harder to come by nowadays. Revitalizing Cheer, because Revitalizing Cheer is, of course, bread and butter for our class. Readout, obviously reasons, people cry about it for a reason. Immune to trip, block chance, all that good jazz. Now, I didn't used to spec Fortress, but the reason we're currently specking Fortress in this build is the above mentioned reason, that you need more metal. And Fortress, I found, is a great tool in World PvP. Always specking it for naval combat is a must, just so you can peel off ships, throw people off, get your healers, peel for them, and of course, bring your allies closer to make them dodge AoEs, that kind of thing. But it also gives you 1.5 thousand metal, which is very, very nice. When you're running around the world, if you've ever played Dark Run or anything like that where you stack thwart, it's going to be the same thing. You just run around with it. And always make sure you're setting up 5k metal so you're ready for a fight there. Supplemental block, they did nerf that a little bit. No longer gives as much block rate as it used to, but still a worthy point for sure. Shield's Edge, always worth it. It did get a slight nerf this patch, but still worth it for that random ability to stun and break a DR's lockdown. Just that small stun can buy you a world of time. We don't spec Shield of Steel. We're in plate, doesn't matter. Guardian, not necessary. Spry Fortress is very bad. Bear's Vigor, it seems like a great skill, but for the trade-off value of moving anything in the build, it just isn't worth it to be alive for, 2 more seconds. It's just not worth it in my book. Ursine's Roar, or Ursine Roar. This is a new part of the build. The reason it's there is so it decreases the cooldown on Readout, Toughen, and Fortress. Now notice all the abilities I mentioned there all give stacks of metal here. So the idea is to try and keep our metal stacking how it used to be, so we don't get hit as hard as on the defense nerf this last patch. So by speccing Ursine's Roar, we can now Fortress every 36 seconds. We can now Toughen, looks like every 48 seconds. And Readout is also a decreased cooldown. It also means your Bull Rush is almost always in tune with your Shield Slam, which is your best and strongest DPS combo. Alright, moving to Battle Rage. Nothing changed here that I can recall. We have Triple Slash, Charge, Whirlwind Slash, of course, Bond Breaker, Precision Strike, Battle Focus, as always, Tiger Strike, behind enemy lines, weapon maneuvers, dual proficiency for that melee crit, attack speed turning just for Delirium because Delirium hits hard. Now Deflect and Retaliate, this is the skill that got Battle Rage nerfed hard. Now it says every successful parry resets its cooldown, the cooldown of all Battle Rage attack skills. However, it says it's disabled for 12 seconds if triggered too often. Now if that means if it triggers twice within 20 seconds, it will go on cooldown for 12 seconds, which is a huge nerf because it used to be you could just, parry, and keep spamming your Tiger Strike and just rack up those kills. That was the nerf that hit our damage so hard. But by moving to a DPS plate as opposed to the more tanky Conviction Couriers, you're going to be able to offset that quite a bit. Puncture, because everyone likes puncture. To be able to go through 2000 physical defense is just necessary because most people are running leather, plate, and that kind of thing. Weapon Mastery, obvious reasons, 15% skill damage. Oromancy, we still have Conversion Shield, helps you survive Mage's DPS. It also increases the damage of your Shield Slam and Bull Rush combo. We also have Shrug It Off, of course, is your stun break, and combos with your Revitalizing Cheer. Liberation, of course, combos with Redoubt, and when they're both popped together, I'm sure you guys are all aware, it boosts your magic defense by quite a bit, 1.9 thousand to be exact. So that's very important. It also makes you immune to Shackle and Silence, which is great for having DRs or anyone who's trying to CC you. Really is a great skill there. So just go over the combos here. We have Shield Slam, Bull Rush. When this is up, Refreshment, always pop Toughen when you're being focused. Your self heal will be Shrug It Off, followed by Revitalizing Cheer. Let me go and show you how much that will heal for here. Healed for 5.91k. Sorry, 5.9k. It would heal for more if I had more health, but as you can see here, it heals for quite a bit. In fact, with a 5k metal stack, I should heal 2.8 plus 50% of my stack metal. Metal now stacks up to 5k. So we're looking at a 5k on base. We're going to increase that by 50% while under Shrug It Off. That takes it to 7.5. And because, of course, we're running short spears here, we are going to go ahead and see our healing power is just about 653, 656. So you can probably realistically expect a self-heal of 8,000, which coupled with the toughness regen of 120 active regeneration for 20 seconds, that is pretty good for self-heal for a plate. So we're good there. It's definitely very important to combo those together. Alternatively, if you have to pick up a kill, I generally don't do this, run Shrug It Off with Boost for Roar. It'll increase the damage. However, I only use Boost for Roar to DPS down healers and get people who are trying to run away. People with packs, just to try to peel someone off my healer. It's very important that Boost for Roar, it's just a utility spell. Don't really think of it as a damage dealer there. Here we have Triple Slash and Charge. So you charge and you Triple Slash. That'll throw them on the ground. Then you can Whirlwind Slash if you feel like it. Now Whirlwind Slash is important because the third attack always gives you a stack of Delirium. So even when you're not actually going to hit anyone with that third strike, refreshing your stack of Delirium can be massively useful. Of course, we have Bondbreaker that removes Snared, Snows, Launch, Lassitude, and Telekinesis. Also, it decreases melee and range damage by 50%. Use that when you're being bursted. And a small thing that a lot of people aren't aware of with Bondbreaker, if a mage casts Lassitude on you, which puts you to sleep after 6 seconds, you feel free to pop Bondbreaker. It'll remove that and prevent you from being put to sleep if it hasn't happened yet. Battle Focus, always pop it when you need to do some burst or you're being bursted yourself. It decreases the cooldown, increases your parry chance, also increases your melee critical damage by 40%. That's the main kicker there. Because our current melee, my current melee crit rate is only 50%, and the melee crit damage with our build is 67. That'll mean 100% more damage, plus the Delirium stack, which increase it even more, means they're just going to be dropping people pretty quick, and they will not see it coming from Abolisher post 2.5. Sorry, 2.9 this patch we're in. And let's see here. We also have Tiger Strike. Nothing really changed there. Now, you see here, inflicts distress on targets used while under Delirium. So if you have your Delirium built up, it's going to hit them harder and put a debuff on them. That's definitely great there. Behind enemy lines, they did change this. Believe it or not. Behind enemy lines, you used to be able to cast it at this distance. Now it is an 8 meters minimum distance. So it does take a little new targeting to get used to it. Just a little bit more of a trick to learn, because it used to be 5 meters, and now it's a minimum of 8. Just get used to it there. And we have weapon maneuvers, nothing will change there. Conversion shield, the combo remained the same. It's conversion shield, then shield slam down here, and then bull rush. And as soon as you hit that bull rush, get behind your target and hit your good old precision strike behind them. That'll really fuck them up. Pardon the language there. And we should be all good to go there. And we don't spec leech or anything like that. It's just not worth it. If you don't like Fortress, you can always try Invincibility. I don't like Invincibility, because the moment you pop that, any skilled DPSers will switch to your healers in group combat, and you'll watch as your team gets melted. You are the tank. In PvP, you need to make sure you're grabbing the aggro from those players. You make sure you're tanking it, because you soak the most damage of any class in the game. Alright, and that covers our new updated build. I hope you enjoyed it, and go ahead and leave a comment. You have yourself a wonderful evening.